Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States, which is 11 a.m. in Australia or 1 a.m. if you're in the UK. But remember, if you miss the live streams, you can always catch up with the premiere event streams on a Friday and Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific time in the US, which is 8 a.m. in Australia, or 10 p.m. if you're in the UK. I hope all you guys and girls are well. As always, remember guys, if you've got any questions while I'm working, please feel free to pop into chat and ask me. If you just want to pop into chat and say hello, that's always welcome. But if all you want to do is watch, that's completely fine. So what are we doing? We are going to continue working on the House in the Hollow game now that's being made using the Unreal Engine 4.23. We're going to put a bathroom into the building, finally. Smurfberry Barbecue. Yes, it is a game. Well, sort of a game. Sort of. What we're going to actually do is work on the bathroom today. But yes, the game is coming along, Smurfberry. Coming along nicely. I don't know if I'll actually pull up UE4 today. It's probably going to be Max and Substance Painter work today as we texture up the different assets for the bathroom, because you guys have been holding it in long enough. We'll get the bathroom done and we'll take it from there. I will log into sorry, I'm just being distracted again by my email. I will load up UE4 at some stage. You guys can check out the progress coming along for the game. But yeah, today it's probably going to be Max and Substance Painter. That's the plan anyway. So, always remember too guys, don't post links in my Twitch chat if you're watching me, unless you're a sub, but everyone can post a link on the Discord server, so join the Phil Does 3D Discord if you want to show up your work. And I see Smurfberry, you were talking about you're doing some photogrammetry stuff and it's taking a while. You got a huge amount of photos, high-res photos. That's what happens. Alrighty, so let's jump straight into Max, I think. So we have this deco-y looking cabinet that we're going to be texturing up today. Now, you guys that watched my stream when I made the cinematic in UE4 saw the way that I textured it up using multiple materials. Now that's valid for a cinematic, but for a game it's not great because you're going to end up with a lot of draw calls you don't need. If you can, it's always better to try and consolidate all of those materials into one material map. So don't use 5, use 1, which is what we're going to try and do here. So the procedure I show you here to texture these assets up for the remaining rooms in the manor house, we're going to do it a different way. So we're still going to use Substance Painter. We're still using Max, obviously. But we're going to try and make them, each individual asset, one texture map, color texture map, because you're going to have diffuse material, diffuse roughness, normal, all of that sort of thing. But at most 2. So I don't want to use more than 2 texture maps per object. I'm going to try and keep it to 1 because that will be the best for draw calls. So the procedure I show you now, working on the remaining assets for the building, is going to be a different way to do it from the way that I showed you when we did the cinematic. Because the cinematic, I didn't particularly care about draw calls, but with the game, I do. So, Merkberry says, I'm praying that it doesn't just choke when it gets to the meshing stage. Right now it's calculating depth maps, which isn't an issue because each image is processed one at a time, but I'm not sure what will happen when it tries to do the mesh. How many photos? Did you say you're using over 1,000 photos in the photo set? That's a lot of photos. That's an awfully huge amount of photos. Yeah. That's a lot. Smurfberry says, I don't know from a technical standpoint how the meshing works, like if it will try to load every depth map at once. Smurfberry says 1,010 photos and it successfully matched 1,008 of them. Well, that's a pretty good result there, actually, because generally when it does its triangulation mode, there are going to be certain photos it can't actually incorporate in the photo set. But to get 1,008 from 1,010 is pretty good. As far as technically how it does its meshing, it actually meshes on the point cloud. So once it's done the point cloud, it doesn't really use the photos except to create the texture. That's my understanding anyway. So it uses the photos to create the point cloud. So it triangulates the photos, uses that triangulation to make the point cloud, uses the point cloud to create the mesh, then uses the photos to texture the mesh. So it might be the texturing stage it might have an issue. It shouldn't have an issue if it's already done the point cloud. Again, I don't use the software you're using, but every other piece of photogrammetry software I've used pretty much works the same way. So triangulation, point cloud, texture. Triangulation will use all the photos, obviously, to work out where it is in 3D space. Point cloud uses all the photos to actually create the actual point cloud. The meshing stage uses the point cloud to mesh the model. And then the texturing stage uses the photos to actually create the final texture. Smurfberry says, I'm actually shocked because some of those photos are rather obscure angles. Yeah, I'm amazed just how good photogrammetry software has become now. Those amazing algorithms that the people that the programmers write to make the software are pretty amazing. Yeah, I found the same thing. Sometimes it can triangulate a photo that's, like you said, from a really weird angle, really close up, you know, all these different sorts of strange photographs it doesn't seem to have a problem with. Which is cool. But 1,000 photos, over 1,000 photos, that is a big photo set for software to calculate. You really want to make sure you got a lot of RAM, depending on the software you're using. Now, again, I use Reality Capture, which uses the GPU, so it doesn't hit your RAM quite as much as Metashape or Bentley Context Capture. So it's a little bit more memory friendly. And I actually saw you posted too about Reality Capture's new licensing model, where you don't actually, you can subscribe to use Reality Capture. You can still purchase the software outright, as far as I know. And now you can actually pay per project as well. It's all this subscription rubbish that every company is going down now. So yeah, I would never, ever suggest anyone use subscription model for their software, because if you use it a lot, you're going to pay a lot more for it. Sometimes you don't have an option like Autodesk now and Adobe. They only give you subscription, you can't purchase outright. But if you can, always buy the software. Substance is going that way now too, I'm afraid. They're going to do away with perpetual licenses and just turn it into subscription only, now that Adobe own it, of course. So yeah, if you can avoid it, don't go down the subscription route. And I would never, ever pay for per project software, unless you've only got one project and you just want that one thing done, because it's going to cost a fortune in the long run if you're doing a lot of work. Smurfberry says the sparse cloud is already done. Oh, not the sparse cloud, I'm talking about the proper point cloud. The sparse cloud is already done, not sure what step handles the dense cloud. Yeah, I'm not sure with the software you're using. I know with Metashape does the triangulation, does the sparse cloud, then does the dense cloud, then does the meshing, then does the texturing. Reality Capture does the triangulation, it goes straight to a dense cloud, then it does the meshing, then it does the texturing. So, they all handle things a bit differently, but they all follow the same sort of route to get there. But that software, yeah, up the sparse cloud to the dense cloud. The dense cloud, I'm assuming, is going to use the photo sets as well when it gets to that stage, so that could be a problem. Sniper Girl says, is that part of the bathroom? It is, Sniper Girl. You don't have to hold it in anymore. Like I said in my tweet, you guys can soon, you can let it all out. Sniper Girl says, the poor guy will finally be able to take a piss soon. That's right. Hi to you too, Sniper Girl, and I see that you've applied for a new position with another games company. We're all keeping our fingers crossed for you. I'm sure it'll go well. You just got to keep plugging away. You know what it's like. I mean, I've told you guys before, everyone goes through the same thing, regardless of how much experience you've got. There's always, you know, it always takes a long time to find work sometimes. To find the right fit for you in the studio. So, but I'm glad you're plugging away and you're keeping at it. And I keep my fingers crossed for you. Smurfberry says the per project cost of this photo set would be $60. Okay, well now $60, you might think that's pretty reasonable because, you know, software can cost hundreds of dollars. And if Smurfberry is only doing that one project, well then that's true. That could be a good way, economical way for you to get your stuff done. But if you're doing more than one project, it's going to start adding up really quickly. It's the same thing with a general subscription model. If you use the software a lot, you've got to stay subscribed. It's going to cost a lot more than buying it outright. And remember too, when you stop subscribing, you can't use the software anymore. So they sort of lock you into subscribing forever if you need it, because if you don't, you can't use it. And it costs you much more in the long run. There's nothing we can do about it. These companies are all doing it. I blame Microsoft, actually. They started all of this with their Office 365 thing. It's probably not true. There are probably companies before Microsoft doing it as well. Sniper Girl says, thanks, yeah, it's the studio that makes Saints Row series. That'd be incredibly cool to work with that studio. The Saints Row games are incredibly popular. Sniper Girl says, yeah, $60 a project would be expensive. It would, if you do more than one project. Smurfberry says, if it was for the final model, that would be pretty good. But I'm going to use the mesh as a scaffold and build the real model by hand. Okay. So I'm just trying to work out, what are you planning on using the photogrammetry model as the high res and doing a bake down to a low res you do by hand? I'm assuming. Otherwise I don't see the point of making the high res. So I'm going to assume you're going to use the photogrammetry high res model as a bake down for the low res mesh that you're doing by hand. Smurfberry says, would be pretty good if it was a studio. Smurfberry says, but this is basically a throwaway asset. Oh, so it's worth like $6, not $60. Okay. It's for precise proportions. Okay. It could be a way to get a nice bake down as well, though. That's generally what a lot of people do with photogrammetry. They'll bake it down. So don't discount the high-res model as being useless just for proportions. You could probably use it as a bake down for your normal Mac as well. To get all that sweet, sweet detail. High-res detail on your low-res mesh. We did that for the game. The rocks, you know, the rock formations I've got in the environment, they were baked down from a high poly to a low poly. Sniper Girl says, can't really say much, have an NDA, haven't even talked with them yet or anything, waiting to schedule an interview. Yeah, those sort of studios that work on high-profile games like the Saints Row games will always have NDAs. Which is fair enough. That's their IP. They want to protect their IP, so they make you sign an NDA so that the world doesn't find out what they're doing. Yeah, because otherwise companies can have their IP stolen, all the ideas for their IP stolen, all that sort of stuff. It's the reason they do it. But good luck with the interview when it happens. Sniper Girl says to Smurfberry, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm sure everything will be fine. I'm sure it'll go well. Apologies, I'm just trying to work out what's going on over here. Smurfberry says the photos aren't really close enough for a bake down. Oh, okay, I've got a separate set of close-ups to get that tasty detail. Good. As long as you can get the tasty detail, that's what's important. That sweet, sweet, tasty detail. Sniper Girl says, applied to this position back in March. Well, it does take them a while sometimes. That is quite a while though. So it took a while to just get an email from them saying that they were interested in having an interview. Hoping that it doesn't take the same amount of time to set it up. And then wait for a reply. Like, you know, what's even worse is you have the interview and then it takes them forever to get back to you to let you know whether they want you or not. That's happened to me before. And generally it's just because the studio's busy and yeah. But March, hey Ito, it's good to see you Ito, but March, yeah, that's quite a while. Quite a while. Well, it's good to see you though, Edo. I see you're working on a new character, which is good. You guys can check out the images in the Discord server that Edo has posted. Smokeberry says, I think if you're repeating textures, it can be used for most of the building. It's always good to reuse textures if you can. Make sure, but yeah, if you can reuse textures, that's the way to go. If you can reuse meshes, that's the way to go as well. Edo says, holla. The Sniper Girl says, to Smokeberry, what type of project is it for? Maybe he doesn't want to say. Twitch has been behaving a bit weird lately as well, so just putting that out there for anyone watching the stream. If you have any issues, it's probably Twitch, because the last few days have been having a few issues. Every time they do back work on the back end of Twitch, it always creates problems. So, and I only know because I've been reading on Reddit. People have been complaining about it. We will persevere and push through. Smurfery says 2 to 4 brick textures, a shingle texture, a painted wood texture, a granite texture, and a few unique maps for some of the decorative flourishes on the doors and frames and stuff. What are you making? You've got me intrigued now, Smurfery. What are you making? Sounds sweet. Smurfery says, I want a medal or 2. Yeah, what are you making? It does sound intriguing. You've got me intrigued. So yes, for the texturing of these final assets for the remaining rooms in the Manor House, we're going to do it a different way to the way I showed you when we worked on the assets for the cinematic. The way I'm going to show you now to take stuff between Max and Substance Painter will be the most efficient way to reduce the number of draw calls you're going to get on your models. Sniper Girl says, so materials only, or is this for a scene? Smurfery's given us a link. What's this link, Smurfery? You got me intrigued. I'm going to check this link out. Carpenter's Hall is the official birthplace of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and a key meeting place of the early history of the United States. Are you doing? So you're doing a building? Is this what you're doing? A building. Cool. That's a nice building actually too. It would be fun to model. I love doing buildings, as you guys know. Smurfery says full building exterior. Yeah, it's going to be really cool. Really cool. Yeah, really nice. What I'd do in this situation, if it was me, I can see why you wouldn't probably want to turn the entire building into a photogrammetry model. It's going to be really heavy poly. But I'd still use part of the photogrammetry for my low poly mesh. Like I'd take these arches along the windows, the detailing. Maybe not so much that, but certainly the detailing on the windows, although you probably could do that by hand, it wouldn't be too bad. And the doorway. And I'd use the high poly mesh and then attach that to the low poly that I'm making for the building. But that's me. Or I'd at least bake that down to the low poly. The window frames, the door decoration, that sort of thing. But yeah, you wouldn't want the high poly photogrammetry mesh of things like the brickwork. Probably unnecessary. Nice building and make a nice model. Smurfery says in a lot of ways the exterior is like the House in the Hollow. Yeah, the House in the Hollow is a low poly mesh. It's not a high poly mesh. So I think from memory the actual building itself is about, I think it's about 4,000 polys. And I modelled a lot of that by hand. And the reason being, because it's going into a game and it's a building, it's a large asset. Creating a photogrammetry building like this and using it as photogrammetry in a game engine is going to bring the game to a screeching halt really quickly. So yeah, large buildings like this are better being modelled in low poly by hand. But like I said, I'd still use the photogrammetry for the detail work, for the arches, for the doorway, possibly even for this bit that sits on the top of the roof. forget what that's called now. A bit that swings around depending on the air current. Weather vane, I think it might be called. I'd use the high poly at least to do a bake down for that. But the rest of it, yeah, I'd model by hand doing low poly. It's going to look cool though. Really cool. And yeah, actually, and like you suggest, doing the high poly is a good way to get the textures for the building that you can then use on the low poly, because you can project the texture from the high to the low. So, you know, Sniper Girl says, look forward to seeing you work on it. I do too. I look forward to seeing how this comes together. You must let us know. Are you going to bring it into UE4? Smurf? Or are you going to use Unity? What are you using? Again, I'm just curious. But it's going to look really cool. And again, I love the building. I love doing architecture. That's why I went to work for an architecture studio. So, very nice. UE4 probably? Yeah. It'll look really cool in UE4. We will, like I said, be jumping into the game soonish. I want to get a couple of the assets for the bathroom textured up, and then we can jump into the game level and we can start setting up the bathroom itself. I haven't decided exactly the design for the bathroom yet. We'll sort of play it by ear as we go, I think. That's the best way. Let's be creative. Why have things set in stone when you can just do your art and be creative and see how it goes? Sniper Girl says UE4 is mandatory. We'll go on a sniper range. There you go, you've been told. Smokery says Marmoset might be able to showcase it, but I don't like the limitations they have with their viewers' lack of support for detailed normal maps. UE4 of course has detailed normal maps, so you know, I think doing it in UE4 is better for your portfolio as well, Smokery. Even if you never wanted to work in games, having an environment created in say UE4 in a game engine, it could be Unity, it doesn't have to be UE4, but in a game engine, I think it shows an employer that you can handle a lot of different workflows. So instead of just doing it in Marmoset, where Marmoset does most of the work for you and you render out your image or you do your turntable or whatever it is, actually showcasing it in UE4 or a game engine in a real-time environment, particularly now that ray tracing is going to become a thing over the next couple of years, is going to be a better way to go. Sniper Girl says, yeah, I agree with you there. Sniper Girl also says, honestly, I'm looking at rendering something in Unity. Haven't really used it in a while. Well, again, I haven't used Unity either, but I know people that use it and I know people that love it. I like UE4. I like their lighting in UE4. But from what I've heard of Unity is very good as well. So, Smokery says, Toolbag itself can do detailed normal maps, but if you want to export it into their web browser, so you can embed it in ArtStation on your own site, it bakes the detailed normal map down into the regular normal map. But if you have overlapping UVs, that doesn't work. No, if you're using overlapping UVs, that won't work. Remember too, though, if you're bringing it into UE4 or any game engine, if you're using overlapping UVs, you've got to be careful. You'll get shadow artifacts and weird things happening. You know that you guys have used UE4, you can generate a separate UV map for the light map, and that will prevent the shadows from getting weird. So you can use your overlapping UVs on the normal UV space, generate a second UV set for the light detail, the shadow detail. And again, overlapping UVs is a really good way to keep textures small, but apply a higher res texture to the model, if that makes sense. So you're not going to be UV mapping the whole model out, which we are going to do here. You're sort of like UVing half of it out, and then you're like mirroring it, overlapping the UV, so you can get a higher resolution texture in a smaller texture space. That's why a lot of people like to use overlapping UVs. Yeah. Smithbury says the last time I used Unity was 2010. Sniper Girl says last time I used it I think was 2012, maybe. And Sniper Girl says no, it was 2014. Was a student when I used it last. There you go. So yes, we're going to be texturing this model up in a different way to the way we did it inside of Max when we were working on the game, when we were working on the cinematic. So let's get to it, shall we? That's enough talking. Phil does not just chat, Phil does 3D. So, well, he's supposed to anyway. Okay, so we have our model here. The first thing I need to do is I need to start attaching all these different pieces together, so it's one model. So we're in it, poly, let's start pulling it all together. I'm going to leave the mirror separate. That's going to be, I'll take that in as a separate object. You know, normally when we were doing it the other way, I kept everything separate, so we used separate texture maps. I'm not going to do that for this one. Mirrors separate. And I'm just going to check that I've got everything by opening up my browser here. It looks like I've missed a couple, so... Okay, the box is the mirror, so let me rename that so we don't get confused. Mirror-y. Can't spell. Oh dear. Mirror. There we go. Smempery says, Ditto being a student. Niper Girl says, no, to be honest, it's just chat. We don't judge or anything. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You do judge. The tap. I forgot the tap. Let's attach the tap. Not much good having a sink without a tap. What else? Okay, looks like I just forgot a little join there. You? Did I forget you? No? Good. I'm just going to rename this small vanity. So small vanity and mirror, good. Okay, so we can either UV map it and then do the, what we're going to do is we're going to use vertex coloring. So I think what I'll do is I might UV map it first and then we can do the vertex coloring. Might be better. So again, I'm going to use Rhizome to do the UV mapping like I did last time because, you know, why not? Sniper Girl says, one thing for sure is if I can get this one job, definitely going to get a camera for photogrammetry, no more phone crap. Look, the phone you'll do a good job with the phone. The hardest thing with the phone is making sure you don't shake it. It's easier to hold a DSLR camera without getting that shake. It's harder with a phone. But the cameras in phones are very good, and you've got a Samsung phone, so the camera in it's pretty good, Sniper Girl. But I'm not going to deny a DSLR camera is the way to go if you do want to do photogrammetry properly. But you can get good results with a phone. Don't think you can't. Sniper Girl says, hardest part about doing it with a phone is that it's super limited in distance. That's true too, but remember with a DSLR, don't use zoom lenses or anything. If you're doing if you're taking photos for photogrammetry, you can't use a zoom, so you're going to have to move closer or move further away anyway. But you're right, it is a bit more easier with a DSLR than a phone to get the distance, because phones were designed to be used to take selfies and all that sort of shit, and not so much other objects further in the distance. Whereas a DSLR was always made to photograph the real world, not just to take selfies. So I get what you're saying. Smurf says, I use a 28 to 70 zoom lens, always cranked to 28. Yeah, you don't want to go zooming in to do photogrammetry work. If you need close up, move closer to the object. because the triangulation stage in photogrammetry, if you start messing with the zoom, is really going to have a problem. It needs to all stay consistent so that when the software does the triangulation, it can work out where in 3D space the camera is. If you start zooming in using a zoom lens, it's going to mess that up completely. So yeah, don't use a zoom. If you need to get close-up detail, move closer to the object. Sniper Girl says, yeah, my phone is an old Galaxy S6, so yeah. Okay. Ancient. No, not that ancient. But yeah, I can see. I mean, they're up to a 10 or 11 now, Samsung, I think. I can't remember. They release a new one every year. Edo says, Nom. Oh, Edo. Mercury says, eventually I'm going to get a lens that just for like that 12 or 16 or something. Mercury says to Sniper Girl, did you do that dragon with an S6? Sniper Girl says, not that ancient, come on. You took it off the Ark and I got it from you, that's right. We all know that Phil came off the Ark. Fresh off the Ark. Oh dear. You're going to get a slap. You are going to get a slap, Sniper Girl. So let's send this model over to Rhizome UV. We're going to create new UVs for it. And we are going to I'm going to start breaking this down. So I'm not going to get it to unwrap the entire model all on its own at once because it's a complicated model for the software to try and work out auto-magically. So we'll give it a hand. Let me see here. It's been a little while since I've used Rhizome. I've got to remember how I'm doing what. I'm going to isolate those. Sniper Girl says to Smurfer, yeah, S6 for the dragon and the manhole cover. And the dragon looked great. So, I think you can get good results from a mobile phone. Don't think you always need the latest and the greatest of anything, guys and girls. You don't. That's just marketing people trying to sell you crap. I must have the latest. I must. Because the latest is the best. I'm not saying it's not the technology, but I'm saying you probably don't need it. Smurfy says, hello, thought that was a regular camera. Smurfy says, thought you'd gotten like an A6000 or something. Well, there you go. I thought the results were really good as well. Sniper Girl says, took several attempts to get that dragon right. I wish looking at getting a mirrorless. If I get a job, a mirrorless is a good camera to get. For sure. Okay, let's try this first one here. Let's do an unwrap and a pack. And let me throw a checkerboard down, and you see it didn't do a great job, so let's try another one. Again, not a great job here. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great. Let's just try the others. Much better, much cleaner. Sniper Girl says, but yeah, the dragon did a ton of cleanup that I had to do in ZBrush and modeling. Okay, let show, and let's keep moving on to doing some of the others now. So I don't want to go in, I want to be in object mode. Back into isolation mode. Let's try the one we used last time for the other one. Nope. Unacceptable. Whoop. Let's try this one. This one will work for what we want. Nightbot is spamming my links as usual. Thank you, Nightbot, you naughty, naughty little robot. And look, it spammed the same link twice. What is the story with that robot? Weird. Sniper Girl says, really want to get a decent camera. Think it would be fun doing photogrammetry, baking the stuff down, and selling the finished assets. Well, that's what I do. You guys saw it. I don't know if you noticed my Twitter page, Twitter account the other day. I just posted the link to the creative market model that we worked on stream. The last project we worked on, that Temple of the Winds. I just put that on my creative market store. So that's what I use it for. And we're going to be using that model in the game as well. We're going to bring that Temple of the Winds into the game engine. Because why not? Did the ends okay. I don't like what it's done to the middle though. Let us try this one. Don't like what it did the middle okay. I don't like what it did to the end. We'll get there eventually. This might be one of those ones where I might break the model up a little bit more, I think. So I'm going to go back to the main model. We will select the ends first. And I think it was this one that it did the ends okay on. Yep. And then we'll do the middle bit separately. That's what I mean by it just helps the software work out the best way to work if it has less to work with at a time. And for this one, let's try this one. Yeah, again, let's see if we can get a better result than that. This might be one of those ones where it might be better for me to try and do it by hand a little bit. Help it out. I'll get there. I will get there. And there we go. Much better result. Okay, texel density is all over the place, but we'll look at that once we've got the rest of the bits and pieces textured up. UV mapped, I mean, not textured. UV mapped. We'll do the shelves next, I think. Sniper Girl says, you cannot time out moderator Nightbot unless you are the owner of this channel. We'll just put up with him. Or her. I'm not going to be sexist when it comes to my bot. That should be okay for what we want for these shelves. Sniper Girl says, I'm not sexist at all. I am not sexist. Not in the least. I'm the most non-sexist person you can find. Smurfberry says, I'm taking photos of some architecture stuff from around here to sell as a pack at some point. Gregorian style architecture pack with authentic period bricks and stuff. That sounds really cool. That sort of stuff's always really popular too. Smurfberry. So it should sell well. I know I'd probably buy it. I'm always on the lookout for new textures and stuff, because you can never have too many. You guys know I have a folder on my hard drive with nothing but textures in it. Every time I go out anywhere, I always take my camera and I always take photos for my texture library, because you can never ever have too many. And I bought quite a few as well that people sell online. That sounds really cool. Let me know when you put it up for sale, Smurfberry. Sniper Girl says, good idea. Was looking at doing the same thing for Chicago. Yeah, it is. That sort of stuff, like I said, really sells well, because then people can use it for a variety of different models or uses, as opposed to buying a model where the model's made. That's the way it is. I mean, they can put the model in a lot of different environments for their art, but they can make a lot of different art by using textures that they buy and stuff. So, yep. Isolate. That's the button I want. Now the UV maps on this don't look too bad, but the checker pattern, not great, but the UV maps look really bad. So let's keep going until we find one that we like. And that one we do not like. Again, the UVs don't look terrible, but it's done a terrible job through here. This might be one we need to break down a little bit more for it to be able to get a proper result for us. It's not too bad. Should work for what we want. I'm only going to be placing a metallic texture map on this. If it was a pattern texture map, I might want to make some adjustments to the UV mapping, but it should be fine for what we want. Sniper Echo, it's good to see you, Sniper Echo. How are you, buddy? Sniper says, stop the lights. Is that a sink? It is. Look at this, Sniper Echo. Whoa. Look. Bathroom. Sink for bathroom. Can you believe it? Or like a bathroom, that's right. You don't have to hold it in anymore, Sniper. You can go to the bathroom soon. Sniper Girl says, yep, it's a sink, no toilet yet, so the guy has to hold it still. Well, give me time. Rome wasn't built in a day. Sniper Echo says, hi to all. Sniper Girl says, Chicago has a lot of old concrete work, brick and statues. Should go well for a packet. Yep, it should. People love that sort of stuff. Smurfberry says, oh good, I wouldn't want Sniper Echo to miss out on. That's right. Sniper Echo was here from the beginning when we started doing the building, the House on the Hollow building. So actually, Sniper was my first ever person that watched me on stream when I was streaming. He was one of the first. Smurfberry, you were close to one of the first as well. And Sniper Girl, you've been a regular for quite a while too, so... Sniper Girl says, time, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's done yet. You people. So demanding. You want it immediately. Let's do the top of the bench here. So impatient. You guys and girls in this day and age, you're all so impatient. You want it immediately. No waiting. No. Again, that should probably work for what we want. Not great. Let me just try one more. We can always come back to this one. That's better. We're getting a cleaner result around the edge. Sniper Echo says, I set this project in mode. You did actually, I'd forgotten about that. It's all Sniper Echo's fault, of course, because yeah, it was Sniper Echo that, because I was asking the viewers what I should, what project I should do next. I just finished the Baroque Garden Terrace, I think, and I was wanting to know what you guys wanted me to work on next, and Sniper Echo suggested UE4. And then we decided we'd do a cinematic in UE4. So yes, it is all Sniper Echo's fault. Sniper Girl says, I watched part of the House on the Hole. Yeah, I know, you've been around for a very long time, Sniper Girl. I'm not saying you haven't. But Sniper Echo was one of my very first viewers. No, how long? God, it was a while ago now. I've been streaming for a couple of years at least now. So, wow. Where does the time go? I told you, the older you get, the quicker it goes. Smokeberry says, Sniper Echo and I followed on the same day. Well, there you go. I knew you were one from the very beginning as well, Smoke. Sniper Girl says, remember when you were just when you were getting used to Painter was kind of painful. Oh, thank you very much, Sniper Girl. Oh, wow. Well, you guys know I use Mari. And I only started using Painter a lot more when we started doing the project for the cinematic. So, and then I've used it since. Sniper Girl says, how do you tell the follow date? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can look it up on my own. I just know because I remember these guys. Yeah, I don't think I have a follow command, Sniper Girl, set up in my chat. I'll put one in if you think you guys might use it. Android Lust, it's good to see you, Android Lust. Finally a bathroom, that's right. Android Lust, finally a bathroom. I'm sick of you guys bitching about never having a bathroom. So we're putting one in. We are going to put a bathroom in. Once we start texturing up the different assets. Oops, wrong button. Always hit the Windows key. That should work for what we want for our sink, so that's good. So yes, finally a bathroom, and soon we will have a kitchen as well. So I think, I don't know if we'll go to the kitchen after I finish the bathroom. We might go to the attic, or we might go to the cellar. I'm not sure which yet. Or we might even go to just a completely different part of the environment. I don't know. See how we go. See how I feel. I've actually got to ask the other guys that I'm working with, actually. We do have a plan. I can't just jump around randomly. When you work with other people, you've got to take their considerations into account as well, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, I'm kidding. Smokeberry says, just click on your name in the chat. Okay. Sniper Echo says to Android Last, sweet release is in sight. That's right. You can all stop crossing your legs soon enough. Sniper Girl says, okay, wow, followed October 23rd, 2017. Well, there you go, 2 years ago. Because we're nearly back to October 23rd, 2019 now. 2 years. Wow. I love you guys. You're all such regular watchers, which is great. That's why, you know, people that stream on Twitch, they want their regulars. They're important. And you guys are always in chat as well, which I really do appreciate as well, because there's nothing better for a streamer than chatting to the viewers. It's very boring for a streamer if no one's chatting to them. So keep that in mind if you watch other streamers. They like it when you chat to them. Trust me, they do. It's very rare you'll find a streamer that does not want to chat. Particularly if they're a smaller streamer, or maybe they're just starting out and they don't have a lot of viewers or anything. they will appreciate you chatting to them. Big streamers not so much, because they can't keep. Most big streamers can't read their chat anyway because it goes past so quickly. But smaller streamers will love chatting to you, which is why a lot of people like watching smaller streamers. There's much more interaction between the viewer and the streamer than you get in a big stream. Because big streamers, like I said, just don't have. They can't physically keep track of the chat because there's so many people chatting at the same time. Sniper Girl says, hi, yep, the guy can now officially pee in the sink. Oh, there you go. He can pee in the sink until the toilet goes in. Sniper Girl says, because no toilet. That's right. Android Lost says, it drunk people can pee in the sink. Anyone can. True, I guess. Sniper Girl says, and Smurfberry says, hey man, your grandfather clock won't flush. Wow. Let's try this one. No, we don't like that one. Let's try this one. Yes, we like this one. Let's keep moving our way down. I could have probably UV mapped this one myself inside of Max. It's just a box after all. But why should I? Why should I do anything by hand? I'm like you guys. I want it done immediately and quickly. See, I chastise you guys for being impatient, and I'm the same. Sniper Echo says, I remember way back about 4 years ago when we started the house. It wasn't that long ago. We did the Baroque Terrace first. When we started the house, Phil was known as Philip, and he hardly spoke a word. Yeah, that's right. I'm such a shy wallflower, and I never speak, do I? I've always been really quiet. Sure, right. Motormouth Phil. I don't know why I bother playing music in the background, because you can never hear it because I never shut up. So Sniper Girl says, I watch other channels. I mod like 6 different art channels. Totally don't watch any other streams. I do try to. I don't watch as many other streamers on Twitch now that I stream as I used to before I stream. I think it's because I don't get a lot of time. Like, when I wasn't a streamer, I used to watch other streamers, but now that I stream, the time that I stream is the time I used to spend watching other streamers, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I don't watch as many other streamers as I should now that I stream. But that's not because I don't want to, it's just because, yeah, I'm a bit time poor, unfortunately. This messed up looking UV, this is only here inside of Horizon. Inside of Max it's fine. No, it looks like it might give me issues trying to UV map it. Go back to the other one. I might look at it when we jump back into Max. Bill isn't talking. What's going on? It's the end of the world. So you must be a busy girl, Sniper Girl, if you're a moderator on 6 different art channels. You must spend all your life on Twitch. Sniper Girl says to Sniper Echo, nowadays he's never quiet. That's right. I'll stop talking just to prove you're all wrong. I can't. You guys know I can't stop talking. It's impossible. I can't do it. I do try, but I can't do it. Anyway, you guys don't watch streamers so that they can sit there in silence, I'm sure. Although I have noticed with a lot of art streamers, they don't tend to talk, not as much as me anyway. They tend to do their art and have their music playing in the background, and I guess a lot of people that watch art streams like that, but that's just not me. I can't do it. Sniper Girl says, I'm on Twitch often looking for work, need noise to keep me sane. That's fair enough. I generally, when I'm working, have music playing. Like I'll either put the stereo on in the background and put it on like a music channel, a TV channel, or I'll listen to music through my headphones. If I want it loud, because I don't want to annoy my neighbours. And I do like to listen to loud music in my headphones, so. And so I get having the noise thing in the background, Sniper Girl. Sniper Girl says, and it's a good way to communicate with other artists. It is. It is a good thing to do, for sure. And this one is not good. No good for that one. This one not good either, I'm sure. This is a strange piece of geometry to try and get it to do automagically, so we'll see how it goes. It's not too bad. I mean, it's not wonderful, but it's not terrible. See if we can get a different result using some of the others. No. I think this one is going to be the best one. What have we got left? We've got the tap. I'll do the tap separate from, and we've got the handles as well actually. We'll do all the handles at once, but let's just do the tap at the moment. Yeah, that's okay. You break it into 3 pieces. I don't know we're going to get a better result from the others, really. And again, this is going to be metal, so it's not really an issue. Smoker says, what kind of loud music does Phil listen to? I bet it's Beethoven. It's not Beethoven, although I do like classical music. Actually, if I'm listening to classical, I like Bach. Is my favourite classical musician. But I listen to all sorts of music, and generally, if I'm listening, if I'm working and I have my headphones on, I'm listening to something with a good beat and really energetic. I like poppy, energetic music when I'm working. If I'm just chilling out and relaxing, then I'll listen to some classical music. I'll listen to some country and western music occasionally. Anything and everything apart from heavy metal. It's really the only thing I can't get into. I really like techno music. I'll listen to that while I'm working because it's got a good beat. Not jungle techno because that's a bit too much like heavy metal, but techno, general techno, I like that. dubstep. The dubstep's pretty old-fashioned now. No one listens to dubstep anymore, apparently. The candy, well, that's true. You prefer Bach as well? Good. I do as well. Beethoven's good too, though. Smurpery says, Phil is secretly a candy raver. I used to go to a lot of raves, actually. I told you guys I was a wild child back in my youth. So it would not be out of place to see me at listening to techno music at a rave with Chupa Chups stuck in my mouth. Wearing the fluoro green, lime green pants and that sort of stuff. I never wore that, but I did go to a lot of raves. I haven't been to a rave for many years, though. Sniper Girl says, I prefer music without words or words in a different language. Tend to get distracted when working. Well, that's true, actually. That's a very good point. Words in a different language is good. We'd stop even being distracted by the music itself. Mercury says, how many warehouses have you been in at 2 a.m? Quite a few. Not just warehouses. In this country, they put raves on out in the forest and stuff as well. So they'll approach some farmer in the middle of nowhere in Australia and they get permission to put a rave on in like their paddock or in the forested area of the property, or they have raves everywhere. So I've been to raves in abandoned warehouses, in the middle of forests, in the middle of fields. Yeah, lots and lots of different places. Abandoned railway stations, lots of different places I've been to raves in. That's part of the fun of a rave. Not knowing where it's going to be and experiencing the filthy conditions of wherever it is. And it's usually really filthy. Another girl says, rave with Noah. Awesome, that's right. Noah knows how to rave, don't worry. Android Lust says, lyrics in a different language until you start singing in that language. Well, that's true too. Okay, let's do these handles now. Sniper Girl says, or until you try to sing in that language and butcher it. Let's try this one to begin with. And I think let's just try the other ones. Although the first one didn't do too bad of a job. Okay, now I prefer this one simply because it's done the cut along the edge, whereas the other one cut it down the middle. So having the cut on the edge is always better. The same with these. It's cut along the edges and not down the middle. So that will work for what I want. We just need to do this rack here as well. I must remember to do the handles too before I forget. No. Nope. Nope. That should work for what we want. Now let's do the towel rack here. Nope. Nope. And that should work for what we want. So I think the only thing left is, oh, there's this back piece here. And this piece here. And then I think it's just the handles here now. So this one. This one, this one, this one. And this one. I don't think there's any handles I'm missing. Nope. Yeah. Not great, but could work if we need to use it. We can't find anything better. This one's better. Okay. I don't think there's anything we've forgotten, but we need to make sure our texture map is even, so we're going to get it to do a repack. That's interesting. Why it's having a bit of a problem doing a repack for some reason. Why is that? Just getting back to where we were. I think what I might do is I might send this back to Max and I get Max to do a repack. The repack tool here is not behaving itself properly. So I'm going to save the model. We'll throw an unwrap down and open up Max's UV mapping tool. We'll get Max to do a pack. See, Max didn't have a problem. The UV mapping pack tool inside of Ryzen didn't like it for some reason. Alright, so everything is UV mapped to one UV channel now. So instead of us having 4 different UV maps, UV textures, we're going to have one. Try and have one. We may have to break it to 2 if we can't get the resolution high enough to make the model look good. With just one, but we'll try and keep it to one. Alright, our model's been attached as one object. We've UV mapped it as one object. I'm just going to do a quick save here. And I'll save it as version 3. Because you never know. So I'm going to collapse the stack. We're in edit poly mode. I'm going to right click and go into object properties, and I'm going to turn on vertex channel display. Okay. Now I'm going to go into sub object mode. So just before I turn on vertex channel, just before I do that, I'm going to turn that off again so I can see my model. Otherwise, it's hard for me to see it. I'm going to go into sub-object mode, and now we're going to decide what colors we want for what. So I think I'm going to make this cabinet wood because we've used wood in the rest of the building. You remember we used a lot of cherry wood. I want to try and avoid introducing more red, so we'll still keep it as wood. But we'll go with like a chocolate wood and a different coloured wood, not a cherry wood, but two-tone wood colour. So basically what I think I want here is I want the central pieces to be a darker chocolate wood, and I want the outer edges to be a different coloured wood. We'll decide when we get into substance. So I'm just going to go through now and select different parts of the model that I want to be the same texture, the same wood colour. Maybe these indoors as well, and this central piece through here. Oak wood, yeah, well, oak would look cool as well. Oak certainly would look cool. I'm just making sure I've got all of the different bits and pieces that I want selected. Yeah, I don't want that back piece selected. I don't want under there selected. Smokeberry says some oak is a bit peachy in colour. We'll see what we can come up with when we jump into Substance Painter. Sniper Girl says Tiger Marble would look really nice. Yeah, I thought what we do is we'll use marble for the top of the countertop here, the sink top. So we'll make that a marble, and probably maybe even the sink a marble as well. We'll either make the sink a porcelain or a marble, but we'll certainly make the countertop here a marble. These towel racks, we'll make those a gold because we use gold in the furniture and the rest of the building. We want to keep it consistent. So we'll use gold for those. And I think I might want the shelves to be this darker wood colour as well. So I'm going to make the shelves also a darker wood. So basically everything we have selected here in red will be a darker wood colour. We could even make the skirting of the base here this darker wood too, if we wanted to. We won't, but we could. It would look okay. Smokeberry says, or red oak, which is technically red. Yeah, again, I want to try and avoid going too red because we used cherry wood, which was very red for the rest of the furniture in the building. Now, we could because it keeps it consistent, cherry wood colour. But I probably we'll throw a different. That's the great thing about Substance Painter. We can jump into substance. We can throw down different substances and see which ones we like, and we can go from there. But yeah, a red and a black, like a chocolate wood and a red wood would look good because we've used that before. So a cherry wood and a chocolate wood would look good together. Sniper Girl says, I said tiger marble, not tiger marble. Tiger maple. Oh, sorry. I can't read. Tiger maple. Yeah, no, I'm actually thinking we might go with marble because marble's a bit grander for a bathroom. A wooden top would look cool as well. But yeah, I think a marble for the actual bench top because we're going to have a few of them. I've got two other models based on this design that we're going to texture up as well. Different sizes. One's like a corner unit, one's a smaller unit. This is like a medium-sized unit. but the design of the bathroom, I haven't come up with that yet. We'll play it by ear. So we've got these selected now as sub-objects. What I'm going to do is go down here below polygon smoothing groups. You see there's polygon vertex colors. I'm going to assign it a color, and this one I want it to be a darker wood, so I'm just going to make it a deeper blue. Just to help to remind me that I want a darker colored wood there. Alright, now for the rest of it, I'm going to do a invert selection. I'm going to deselect the other railings and things because hand towel rails, because I want them to be something else. So I'm going to remove those from the selection. The same with the rail up here. The same with the tap. And also the handles. Making sure I haven't forgotten anything. That's fine. And this one I'm going to change the color on the polygon vertex colors, and this one I'm going to we'll make it red because again it'll help me distinguish between the two. Okay, now we want the rest of the model. So all of these fittings and fixtures we're going to make gold. Oh, a brassy color probably. We'll make them a brass. Same with the ends of the taps, of the handles, sorry, and the ends of the taps. The actual handles here, I'm going to make those a separate object, a separate polygon color as well. We'll make them like a metal, and these will be a brass. Okay, so let's assign a yellow to this. So that just leaves the actual handles here. Actually, yeah, we'll make that a metal as well. We'll make those, they're going to be brass and that'll be a metal, I think. So unless I've made an error, this should be the last poly color we need to assign. Vertex color, I should say, not poly color. We're just going to make this one a grey because I'm going to make it like a silver metal. Okay, now that everything should have a vertex color, I can right click the model and now we can turn on vertex channel display and we can see all our different vertex colors for our model. Alright, now we don't have to worry about doing render to texture to get an ID map or anything like that. We're going to export the model exactly as we saw. It looks like I might have forgotten one. This little bit here. So let's fix that. Just assign the grey color again. There we go. I don't think I've forgotten anything. Everything looks like it's... no, looks like I've forgotten this as well. Dear, oh dear. This is why I don't turn the vertex colors on until after I've selected everything, because it's easy for me to spot then any bits that I might have missed. The only problem with this is if I don't assign exactly the same color, we're going to have issues when I bring it into Substance Painter. So I'm just reselecting all of the gold. Making sure I have everything selected that should be selected. Okay, now we should be good. Alrighty, again, let's do a save. And let's export this as an FBX. I'm going to export it into my it doesn't look like I've exported to this folder before, so I'll do it by hand. UE4 projects, models, bathroom, vanity units. Let's make a new folder and call it exports. And this one is called small vanity. Exporting it as a UE4 preset, but there's nothing special about that. Just smoothing groups, turbo smooth, and preserve edge orientation turned on. Now we can jump into Substance Painter. So let's start by... Snappy Girl says, can we change your name to Phil Can't Read? Let's create a new project. We're going to load up that model we just exported. We are going to set it to 2K. We're going to compute tangent space and go OK, because we're bringing this into a game model. You see it has one material layer, which I'm going to rename while I remember. We're going to call this one Small Vanity. Now, we're going to bake out our texture maps at 2K. We're going to use the low poly as the high poly. Under the ID maps, I'm going to make sure vertex color as the color source is chosen. So we don't want material color, file ID, or mesh ID. We want to keep it on vertex color. And bake out mesh maps. And you'll see the ID map has baked out the different colors we use for the different objects. So first things first, let's I'm just going to get rid of the ambient occlusion. I don't want that. I'm just trying to work out if there's an error here. Just wondering what that is there. We'll texture it up and see whether the issue is actually the one of these maps or whether it's the mesh itself. So first things first, I'm going to assign a wood color that we're going to use for the middle section. So Again, I want this to be like a chocolate wood. There's a walnut which might look really cool. There's this chocolate wood beech as well. Let's try the walnut though. So I'm going to throw it down. You'll see it's applied it to the whole model. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to right click and add mask with color selection. I'm going to pick the blue so it just assigns the texture to that part of the model. Okay, now I'm trying to work out what is going on here with this. It looks to me like it's one of these textures here. Either that or it's the mesh. And Phil broke paint, and I didn't break it. I'm just trying to work out what it's doing there. I'm trying to work out why that is happening there. Let's jump back into Max, and so I just want to check that part of the mesh. Just going to turn off vertex colors here, vertex channel display. Okay, it looks like the mesh might be split in some way. So overlapping UV, yeah, I don't know if it may be overlapping UVs. I don't think so because we UV mapped it inside of Rhizome UV. I think actually what it is, it's could be overlapping polygons, or it could be polys that aren't attached. So unwelded vertices, it could be that. So I'm going to make a selection. Remove all the bits we don't want. I'm also just going to detach that until we can work out what's going on, and jump into isolate selection. I'm going to make sure that all of the verts are actually welded together. See, now when I select it, it's selecting everything. I think what was happening was the vertices weren't welded together. I think that was the problem. We're also just going to get it to do another smooth. Just redo the smoothing group. Jump out of isolation. Reattach it to the rest of the object. Let us see if it remembered its vertex coloring. It did. Let's re-export it again. Back into Substance Painter. re-import the model again. In fact, just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to do it from the beginning. Let's select the model, because we have to rebake out the maps anyway. Discard. Again, making sure we're using vertex colors. Yes, it's Edo. Edo again. Android Lust says it's Edo. It is. Android Lust says, I just realised there's a founder badge beside my name. Yes, there is. Look at that. Android Lust is first as well. So that means that you were one of the first people to sub to my channel, Android Lust. You have the first founder's badge. I'm still seeing this weird, not as bad as it was before, but it's still there. Why? Why you do this? Okay. Let me just bake those out again, because actually it's the wrong resolution. Let me just bake that out again at the right resolution. So yes, you have the first badge because you were one of the first to sub to my channel. So congrats, Android Lust. Alona Wolf, hey to you too. It's good to see you. I'm going to get rid of the ambient occlusion and the normal. Okay. So now, let's look at the beach chocolate this time. Why not? No, don't like that. Let's go back to the wood walnut. Again, we're going to right click, add mask with color selection. Wow. And we're getting this problem again. There's a problem with this piece of geometry. For some reason, it's having real issues. Back into Max. These are the joys of working with 3D. The actual mesh itself looks fine. I can't work out why it's having an issue. Let's detach it again. I'm going to do isolation mode. I'm going to run an STL check on it. So we're going to check it for everything. It's telling me there were 44 errors. And I think it's complaining about open edges by the look of it. Yeah, open edge 44. Can't see any open edges, so I'm wondering why it's complaining about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw Pro Optimizer down. We're going to merge verts, merge faces, calculate. Actually, we want to keep textures. Even though there are no textures, I wanted to keep the UV map. So I'm just doing a poly reduction on it. Take it to about 65. And then collapse it. Auto smooth it again. I'm going to clear all and auto smooth it again. Let's reattach it to the rest of the object. Let me just undo that for a minute. Sniper Girl says, going to take care of things. Bye, Sniper Girl. Thanks for being here. I'll be back on again tomorrow, Sniper Girl. Maybe I'll see you then. You have a good day, good night, whatever time it is, wherever you are. See ya. I just want to attach these together. Again, let's double check that it hasn't messed with our vertex colors. It has. That's okay. Just means we need to reselect the blue bits. So now again, it looks to me like there's double polys or something. Let's jump out of that. You see how there's it does. It looks like it's doubled up on the polygons in some spot. It was part of the original model. Alright, when in doubt, do it another way. So again, let's detach it. Select it. I'm going to export this. So I'm going to export selected, and I'm going to call this one F piece. There's an FBX, but I'm also going to save it out as an OBJ. I always have problems finding OBJ in this little list. Why is that? Why do I find it so hard to find the OBJ? There we go. F piece. Okay, now I'm going to import. These are just the little problems you're always going to run into sometimes with 3D modeling. Local projects, models, bathroom, vanity units, exports. Let's start by bringing the OBJ version in. I'm just going to call it anything. Now you can see with the OBJ version here, it's really messed up. Andrew Dot says, yeah, problems with 3D. I've had that all day long. Yeah, you're always going to run into a problem at some stage with some model you're working on. Always. That's just half the fun of doing 3D. Half the fun. Working out why it's giving you problems. Take my hand and we'll combine our sparks. Watch as we sew together, you and I, as we make our getaway. I think it's a normal problem. It's the normals of the model that are having an issue, personally. Got to work out why and how we can fix it. We light up the sky with magic, like meteors. We light up the sky with magic. Okay, let's collapse that stack. That's just the seam where it was, half of it was created to model the other half. Alright, let's do a smooth. Doesn't really want to smooth. Let's rotate it around. I'm going to turn angle snap on. I'm going to rename this one to new and this one to old. And I'm just going to isolate these two pieces so it's easy for me to line them up. Hold on. So just going to make sure these are welded together properly. I'm pretty sure they are welded, but I just want to double check. I watched, you know, the movie It, that they redid the movie It, which is that Stephen King story about the clown, the killer evil clown. I watched the chapter 2 of that the other day. It was alright. Yeah, you know, as far as killer clown movies go, it was alright. Wasn't what I call scary though, because I like a good horror movie. I like to be scared, and it didn't really scare me. Android Lost says, wait, there's a new It movie out? I thought another one just came out not so long ago. Yeah, it's probably the one that you're thinking of is the one that I watched. Like, there was part 2. They remade It. Like, they made the It movie years ago. Then they remade it a couple of years ago, but they released part 1. And then they, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago or so, they released part 2, chapter 2 they call it. So I watched part 2. So it was the second part of the remake that they did a few years ago, that they released about 6 months ago. I think it was about 6 months ago. With Pennywise the Clown. You need to catch up on movies, and I see they've been advertising a new Zombieland movie, which I'm so looking forward to. Because Zombieland is one of my all-time favourite movies. I love that movie. Because I really like Emma Stone as an actress. And it was just a great movie. Zombieland, the first one. So yeah, they've been advertising the new one coming to cinemas soon. So I'm looking forward to that as well. That should be really cool. Because I love me some zombies. Mercury says, yes, zombies, that's right. And there's a new Terminator movie as well. I saw them advertising coming to cinema. I think that's just an artifact of the lighting in Max here. So let's jump out of isolation mode. Let's attach it to the rest of our vanity. Just before I do that, I want to assign it a plain texture color. Now we can attach it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the new Zombieland and the new Terminator movie. The Terminator movie will probably be crap, but you know. So now we need to go into sub-object mode, reselect our bits and pieces. Assign it the same blue color. Alrighty. Let's export it again and try this again. We're exporting it as an FBX. If Phil can find the FBX part to export it to. There we go. Small vanity, that's the one we want. Yes, we want to replace it. Okay, bake out our maps to 2048 using the low poly as the high poly. We're still getting that problem. Only on that part of the model. The rest of the model is fine. Very annoying. Part of the normal map, which is why I thought it was the normals. It's really weird. Actually, it might be the UV mapping now. Now that we swapped out the model piece, it could be the UV mapping. And again, we're getting this strange... It's almost like the vertices aren't welded together. Android Lust says, I've never ran into that problem. Could be UVs. Yeah, I don't actually think it is. I think it's more to do with the vertices not being welded. Because when I go into object mode here, when I select it, it should select everything, and it's not selecting these, which are part of the model. Which tells me that the vertices like here are not welded. Well, I don't know why it's doing that. I'm going to import the FBX version that we saved out. Yeah, you see again, it's that's the problem. It's not welding all of our verts together. That is the issue. Now we're going to convert it to an edit poly. See, now it's selecting all of our verts. Our entire object is one object, so as it should be. So let's see if we can't do that to this piece as well. So annoying. We'll check the UVs as well in a sec. throw it in edit normal. Collapse that stack. Check that it's one object. Yes. Check our UVs. That's our UVs are completely messed up. That is not going to be helping us at all. So let's send this back over to Ryzen. Let's try this one. No. It looks to me like part of the model is actually flipped as well. The normals are flipped. You can sort of tell from the shadow. Doesn't look quite right. I'm just going to send this back to max. Throw that in edit poly. But in max it looks okay. So to test it, I'm going to just export this thing on its own. We'll just call it test. Let's bring that into Substance Painter on its own. Let's bake out the maps. Okay, it's not flipped, so that's not the problem. I'm just not sure if I really like the UV mapping on this. Let's send it back to Ryzen. Trying to find a UV map unwrap that I like. May have to go back to what we were using, I think. I think it had the best unwrap that we're going to get. I think it's as good as we're going to get for this. Okay, let's try reattaching it to the rest of the model. So I'm just going to move it out of the way temporarily to make sure there's nothing hidden behind there that shouldn't be. Nope. Let's attach. strange. I'm going to double check now that we've attached it whether anything weird is going on. No, it's still one object. Good. It's kept the vertex color, which is good. Let us export it. Small vanity. Back into Substance Painter. Bake out our maps. Oh, actually, we may have a problem. I need to repack the UVs. That could be causing an issue. Yeah, I better check that. Because we re-UV mapped it, so now I've got to make sure that our UVs are not overlapping. Like they are here. So let's just get Max to repack it. Let's reload that file again. Rebake our maps again. Throw down our walnut. Mask with color selection. Still a problem. I may have to look at this tonight and we'll pick it up here tomorrow, I think. I'm going to try and work out what the issue is with this piece of geometry. The rest of the model is fine, it's just this piece here is causing an issue. And I can't quite work out where that issue is. Yeah, so I'll have to look into that. But I think we might leave it there for today, guys and girls. I'll, like I said, look into what's causing that issue and hopefully we can work it out, and I'll pick it up tomorrow. We'll continue texturing up our vanity unit here so we can start putting together our bathroom for the house in the hollow. I do want to thank you guys so very much for hanging out with me and for watching. Yeah, Android Lost says drop it in ZBrush and see if ZBrush says anything. I will. I'll check it out. I will. I'll look at it in a couple of different programs, see what's going on. It's very strange. But I do want to thank you guys and girls very much for hanging out with me and for watching. I will be back on again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the US. We'll pick up where we left off here and hopefully work out what this problem is. You guys and girls take care, and I shall see you all tomorrow. See you guys.